How do you install Red's cone valves in a WP fork, the new closed chamber fork? That's what we're here to do today. We're going to be installing this Red's cone valve into a 2025 300XC fork. I wanted to get out all the tools so I could show you all the tools you're going to need to do this job if you want to do it yourself. We are a Red's cone dealer now, officially. We're an Alpine XC dealer. We are working with them on suspension settings and all that good stuff. We are back in it, guys, setting up suspension for dirt bikes. So let me know if we can help you out with that, whether we get you the parts and get them drop shipped to you, or we install them and valve them. And anyway, we can help you out. We are doing full service stuff now. I'm really happy with the Alpine XC stuff in my my WR300. I got to come up WX300R, maybe WR300X. Anyway, that awesome motorcycle that I'm riding, I really like that. Let's go over what you're going to need to do this job. We've got brand new seals and bushings. They're all together in one kit here. Like, they come in different ones. They come with seals, stuff, and then bushing. Anyway, all brand new OEM seals and bushings. This is KYB 01M fork oil, so 5-weight fork oil. Any good 5-weight fork oil is fine. I like the KYB stuff, but doesn't matter. 24mm wrench. 27mm wrench. We got a 10mm T-handle. We got a small flat blade. We obviously have the cone valve. Got a nice pick that has a nice sharp end on it. This is for, I don't know what you call this thing, but it is for getting the seals apart on the, or getting the dust seal out of the fork tube. Got a T20 T-handle from Tusk. Got our little crack pipe torch. We got a 28mm holder for the vise. We got the Racetech multi, this is 28 and 29, but multi 12.5 is what we need there. 10mm wrench, a big flat blade. That is specifically for these forks. I'll show you why. Not all of them are going to need that. I got a 17mm socket on a ratchet. Stuck Nuts high strength thread locker, the new Red stuff. It is the, I don't know when they switched over, but he reformulated that for me specifically, asking so that it would be better in the suspension oil. But the new stuff is good for suspension oil. Need a soft hammer. Need a thin 17mm wrench. So that. Fork cap tool. Something to grind the peening off of the original mid valve. And we need a 22mm socket. Don't have to do it with an impact, but I like it. It makes it fast. You'll see. Not going to damage anything. I like that. Some sort of torch to heat things up. A bigger torch to heat. You'll see. That makes it go faster. And then you're going to need this tool. I am using the Tusk one. It works really good. Motion Pro makes one. That is for the fork cap. Brake cleaner and a whole bunch of towels, which we have. I'll get over there. And then a vise. You definitely need a nice vise. It really makes this easier. So let's get after it, start taking things apart. This starts out like any other fork job. Fork, soft jaws. By the way, these are polyurethane style things. I really don't like them. I'm saving my money for a set of the copper ones from Wilton. They're just 215 bucks because my other ones I left on the other vise, which is now at my house. Yeah, these are nice because you'll never damage anything. They suck because when you tighten them down, then they kind of squish and then you got to retighten them. Anyway, they're not that great. Now this is where we need the flat blade on these forks specifically. They've got the Motion Pro style bleeders, which I don't like. They always leak, but they're on here, and I don't actually have another set. I'm going to talk to this gentleman about getting a set of System Tech Racing ones. They're so much better. I've become kind of a fan of not having bleeders. I always like bleeders. I still like them, but the reality is, like, they complicate the thing, and just having a screw on there is easier. It is kind of a pain because you got to remember to have a tool to get it out, or whatever. If you're going to use bleeders, use System Tech Racing. I forgot the other tool that you need: clicker koozie from Highland-cycles.com. I really actually like that thing a lot. I'm the one who came up with it, and I really freaking like them. Yeah, they're just 3D printed, so if you got a 3D printer, you can print your own. I don't have the file. I have someone do it for me. All right, this is where you need the T20. Take this out. I know you don't have to, but I've actually broken these things, and I I like taking it off. 22 millimeter, 6 point, so you're not shaking the chance around anything off. Make sure it's down on there. And just come loose, nice and easy. If that thing starts going clacky, clacky, clacky too much, stop. There we go. I, personally, you don't have to do it like this, but this is how I do it. I go ahead and do the forks, seals, and bushings now, so I can get this done, cleaned up, and out of the way while I do everything else. So leave that there. Take this little dude, which you can use a flat blade too. This thing just is a little safer. It gets in there. There we go. Then you're going to need your flat blade to come in here and get your circlip out. I'm just going to slide hammer it apart. If you guys know how to do this, you can just skip to the cone valve part. I'll make sure I put the chapters in here, but figured might as well show you how to do fork seals too in case you're new to the whole situation. This bike has some hours on it. We're definitely replacing everything, bushings, seals, everything. Also, since we're doing custom valvey things, we're starting with fresh everything. No point in going halfway on something we're spending the time and money on to make really good. Before we clean this, we're just going to put a crosshatch on the chrome with a little bit of red Scotch-Brite. Obviously, inspect this. Really good, make sure there's no nicks. Looks good. While we're holding this thing, we're going to go ahead and put everything on it. Got our bullet, which I really like. Don't have to use it. You can use plastic bag. Works just fine. It's just the bullet makes it easier. Start with our indicator ring. Dust seal, like this. Circlip. Oil seal, like this. Washer. Outer bushing. Inner bushing. Take that out of the way. By the way, huge shout out to OmniWall USA for this kit. We have these kits available on our website. It's if you go to highland-cycles.com, look for the OmniWall tab. Anyway, this thing's awesome. Also, if you want anything from OmniWall, go there, omniwallusa.com. Make the coolest organizing things, really. Like, all that is OmniWall over there on Zach's wall. It's so nice. They make carts, everything. If you use Highland 24, you'll save some money. So, and I love it. This setup, this is the suspension wall setup, so it's nice. It's got places to put things. It's cool. Clean this guy up. Now, let's assemble this. Get it out of the way. I did forget to mention you're going to need a fork seal driver. I use the Tusk one. It's very reasonably priced. It's nice. It's steel. It fits good. There's no need to pay any more money for a fork seal driver. Circlip down in there. Being careful not to damage the seal with your flat blade. Boom. Done. Up. Out of the way. Now to the actual cone valve part. So on the new style forks, I've got this little keeper guy. Just going to pull that off, sit down. Spring. This is going away. We have a new spring because the guy's a little bit heavier. I'm going to take our, I'll call this a spacer off. I guess spring perch might be a better name for it. But anyway, get that out of the way. Now is when the more specialty tools are going to start coming in handy. So I'm going to take these off my sock jaws and get our aluminum holders. Like I said, it's the 28 millimeter. The reason I take those soft jaws off is because, like I said, they're urethane or whatever, so you squeeze down and they don't actually get very tight. So they're super annoying. So there we go. Now this thing is nice and tight. Now we got to take our base valve out. We got our tuss tool in here. This you want to do with hand tools, because if you blast it off with an impact, you can actually loosen the base valve if it's kind of sticky in there, and a lot of them are. So yeah, you want to do this by hand. By the way, drain pan, Ultrazorb, good setup there. I'm just going to push this up so that comes out nice and easy. Oil goes down there. Going to clean this base valve. Now we are going to be doing some valving on this. That's not part of this video, so I'm going to come back and all that when we get done with that. But tip this over, pump this thing out. Now the cone valve goes inside here. It's part of the mid valve. So what we need to do is get this off, and this is, again, special tool world. You're going to need some aluminum holders for this rod, or you will damage this rod. And if you damage this rod, it will never seal. You'll mess everything up. Then you have to buy another one. It's going to cost you a bunch of money. So don't do that. 12.5 millimeter. Again, I like putting them in the steel in the aluminum so that I get a good bite on this thing. One of the problems with, if it's too soft, you bite down on that thing and it doesn't get tight enough on here, right on here, and then you spin it, you can actually, even with the aluminum holder, you can scratch it. So you don't want to do that. Make sure that's nice and tight. There we go. Comes our 27, 24. 24 is the smaller one, 27 is the bigger one. And we're just going to ease this back. This hydro stop is a lock nut, so it'll come back and it'll hit. Now you don't want to hold this and try to get this loose, because what will happen is this will bite into this rod. It won't ruin anything, but it'll get so freaking tight on here that it's really hard to get it back off. So leave that loose and take our blue wrench. Should be good. There we go. If you use enough heat, that will not be that tight. You shouldn't have any problem with spinning that rod, but just make sure you get it hot enough. And make sure you protect your hands when you're taking it off. All right, guys, here's another thing to pay attention to. The rebound adjuster rod has this little change in diameter. Right here, it's like a shoulder. That has to stick out. You can't put, well, you can put that in that way, but that is not how it goes in. So this end does not have that. So this needs to be sticking out, because if you don't, this won't go through that, and you have to take it all back apart. So make sure you pay attention to which way that goes. Now we're going to take this out. These, on these KTMs, they tend to and stop right there. So what you do is I pull this out, take a little bit of grease, because there's a seal there, and put some grease on these threads. Liberal amount, doesn't matter. Push this down in here, take a soft hammer, and boom. Comes right out. Doesn't damage the seal or anything, as long as you get plenty of grease on there. While it's out, might as well take a really good look at the shaft, make sure everything is pretty. It should be. This bike is almost, well, it's probably got 50 or 60 hours on it, but it's a 25. It's pretty new. So gonna get our 12.5 millimeter holder tool again. I like to butt it right up against that top out spring, get as close to this end as possible. So when you're, because we're going to be torquing on some things up here, right? We're going to have to take this nut off to get the rebound valving off, because we're actually going to use the stock rebound valving, which I really like on this setup. And then we're going to have to get this whole post off of here, and it takes some heat and some force to get this thing apart. So if you have this down here, you put too much torque on the shaft. There we go. You can do this lots of ways. because this, it doesn't look like this is peened, but it is. And if you back this nut off, sometimes it'll come off, sometimes it'll ruin everything. So I've seen it done both ways. So you want to grind that peening off. It doesn't look like it's peened, but it is. So I really like this 12 volt Milwaukee thing with a wheel on it. So it's just an easy way to control it. I have a big belt sander, and that works really good, but I find honestly that this works better. Shout out to WP for using a tall enough nut and thick enough stuff. Like the KYB stuff, you got to be really, really, really careful not to go too far because you run out of threads. This is not like that. It's really nice. 10 millimeter wrench, whoop, comes right off. No big deal. Take our T20 Torx, keep this valving in order. Take this off because we're going to reuse this piston band. This is so much easier than the KYB because it's got this relief in it. I'll show you here in a second. But let's get the post off. Cracked torch, because the big torch works, but the problem is this spring is touching a plastic little thing to kind of locate it and make it stay straight. And the big torch will heat the whole thing up and ruin that plastic cup. So crack torch. You gotta get this thing freaking hot. There is an O-ring on the little needle in there, but it's made to get pretty darn hot, so you'll be all right. This is where you need your skinny 17 because it's gotta fit just on that bottom part, and that the top thing up here is bigger. So you gotta, anyway, you get what I'm talking about. You need a skinny one. There we go. There we go. Pay attention. There's an O-ring here. There's an O-ring in here. This one comes out. I think I can touch that. Yeah. That one stays on the needle. This one we got to take off and transfer over to the reds. So this thing's obviously super hot, so I'm going to set it down and let it cool off for a bit. It's cool enough to hold. Now you're going to need pick. Come in here and be super careful and get this O-ring off of here. What I do is I kind of come in and work it up over the first thread. So now I got it over the first thread, so now I can kind of just roll it side to side and get it off of here. You just want to not damage it because you don't want to have to go buy another one of these. It's no big deal. But actually, Alpine XC, tiny little suggestion, charge a little bit more and send your valves with this on there and a piston band, because especially with the KYB ones, the piston bands are a nightmare to get off. I worked it on mine. I made it happen. I've done enough of them. But honestly, it's a nightmare. So I would recommend, if you're doing it yourself, unless they change their policy, just buy piston bands for it. On the WP ones, I'll show you, it's not hard. And they work just fine. But on the KYBs, just buy piston bands. But also, again, Reds or Alpine, little suggestion, just send it with piston bands, because that would be really handy for the do-it-yourselfers that are, you know, maybe not used to doing this that often. So anyway, put our O-ring on there. It's all good. Now we got this piston band. Let's see if I can show this. So it's got this relief. It's not like doesn't come over like this, like it's all attached. So you still got to be kind of careful, but you can come in here with your pick and you can kind of get in here. I'll show you what it looks like here in a second. Hopefully get close up. Still have to be crazy careful that you don't ruin it, but get underneath there. You lift that up, and then that allows you, gives you the freedom to move that and get this up out of the groove. So I like these piston bands a lot more than the KYB ones, because you can do that. Then we come over here, and it's kind of deformed looking, but you'll see once we get it on here, you can kind of push on it, and it's good. And it'll slide right into the cartridge, no problem. Take our needle, put it in here so it kind of holds it. Take our high strength stuck nuts. This is nice and dry. Make sure that's dry though. Let's make sure we're dry. I was touching it with my hand, so even with the good stuff, you want the oil off of there. Just a little bit. You don't need a whole bunch. Mikey.
Growing on, bud.
Not much, man. Just doing some filming here.
Oh, are you?
Oh, yeah, you're
Am I
good.
interrupting?
Well, not really. I mean, I'm just going to keep talking and filming, so.
Oh, okay.
What's happening? So, yeah, guys, we're just going to tighten this sucker down. Drop the wrench. Obviously, make sure it's going in straight. You're not cross-threading anything. And there's thread locker left in there from before, so it is kind of tight. But you'll be able to tell. There we go. Take our top bolt out. Boom, there we go. You want to keep your fingers off this because you want to keep that dry. And take our valving. There we go. Try to keep this from getting too covered in oil, but we can always just dry it off again. Or put our valving. I'm gonna go ahead and hit that with some brake clean. Put a little bit of thread locker on those threads. I like to take a dry towel and kind of get the excess off so we're not getting too much on the piston. Run that in. Tighten this down. Obviously be careful. It's a little tiny bolt, really tiny threads, all that stuff. So, all right, now we're good. Ready to put this all back together into the cartridge. Like I said, we are ready to go back together. Gonna take our chamber here, inspect this. All looks good. Like I said, we did a good job of clamping it down nice and tight so it does not spin. All right, now we're gonna take this. Actually, first, a little bit of grease on here again. I wipe it off because while I'm working on it, but like a little more grease. I'm gonna go in here, drop that in. Now is when you need your 10 mil T-handle, put it in on top of that 10 mil nut and kind of work it in. Goes right in there. Now, it's about 200 cc's of oil in here. I just fill it up till it goes just over the little ridge. If you want to measure it, measure it. It's definitely easier to do that, but because honestly, this way ends up being kind of a fight to push the base valve in, but you know, whatever. It's no big deal. So I'm going to pump it up and down, get all the air bled out of it. Now we're going to take our 28 millimeter holder again, and I forgot to tell you guys, if you're wanting to buy these holders, even these little ones, these are race tech, but you can get all this stuff from Deja Moto. Cannot suggest Deja Moto enough. They make all this stuff, and it's really, really, really good. They're a U.S. company. Everything about Deja Moto is awesome. So I'm going to put this in here. So I've got it pushed up, but not all the way because I don't have the ends on, so I can't push it too far. It'll come through and let all the oil out the bottom. So we're going to take our base valve. It's been revalved now. So as you're doing this, if you're not doing the 200 cc's, you want to make sure that it rebounds, because like right now there's too much oil in there, because as I push it, it wants to rebound. I like that because then I know for a fact I have enough. Then we're gonna push, and it's hard to get it started, but what's gonna happen is once we get this tight and we push it up, it'll bleed that excess off. And you want to do that before you install the whole thing so that your outer level ends up correct, because If I just put this together, it would still bleed itself and the cartridge would be just fine, but your outer fluid level would be off. Pump it, being careful not to push it all the way through. And there we go. See that? That excess is the stuff that we don't need in there. All right, so now we're good. Take our 12.5. We want to get this super dry because we're going to put some thread locker on it. And we just put a ton of grease on it before, so make sure you get that clean. Take our rod with the shoulder, the smaller part, out. And when you put it in, always want to take it, making sure it moves like that. Hydro stop / lock nut. I'm gonna clean these surfaces again. Stuck nuts. Don't need a ton. I just do this by hand, guys, and it'll stop when it bottoms out. There we go. Now we're going to take this, roll it up. I'm going to hold this still and tighten the lock nut to it. There we go. Flicker koozie. Take our spacer. Perch, whatever you want to call it. Take our heavier spring, little keeper, adjuster, bolt. Always go by hand because I am going to use my impact to run on and I don't want to strip it. Cool thing about this guy though, you can turn it on, you can go to number 1 nice and slow. There we go. Put our clicker back on. 20 T20 Torx. I'm going to set these to 15 on the bottom rebound and 17 on the top. So it's a baseline to start. Now we're going to put 375 cc's in the outer. There we go. Now we're going to put our soft jaws back in. There we go. Reinstall this for now. Like I said, I'm going to try to talk him into not using these in the future, but they're better than nothing right now. All right, like I said, 17. There we go, guys. Pretty straightforward if you have all the tools. If you don't, honestly, this job could be, you could really jack some things up if you don't have all the right stuff. So I recommend if you're going to do this yourself, make sure you have at least the holders, the aluminum holders for things. And yeah, pretty much need all of it, right? Just so you don't mess things up. You don't want to jack up your really, really expensive, really nice forks. So yeah, pretty excited about this, guys. Now I got to do the shock. So we're putting a Motero dynamic shock valve in the rear and a bladder kit and doing some valving in that. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe and all that because I will be filming that too. It's going to be a little bit, we're still waiting on the parts, but want to get the forks done and ready to go. So it's quick when that shows up. So let me know what you think about this video. Comment below. I'm sure someone's going to jump in here and tell me what I did wrong. That's fine. Also, let me know if you use this to do the job yourself and how it went. Yeah, I love you guys. We'll see you on the next one.